I do believe we are live. So I'll say indeed, and greetings unto you, beloved and holy friends. Thank you for joining me again on another splendid day where we can consciously evolve. Today's stream topic is going to be about guiding the mind. I've been having conversations with my dad about spirals. The conversation directly got stimulated, inspired by the loss of one of my dad's dogs. We had a doggo called Feis, and he was a very, excuse me, he was a very like loving and curious doggo. And yeah, he was playing amongst the cattle, kind of like chasing the cattle of another farmer that's kind of like over the hill. And the farmer shot our dog dead. And my dad saw one of the guys who was in the car with him when this, event happened. And he mentioned to me that he noticed, how if he gets his mind involved in that whole fractal, of that whole happening, of all of the feelings involved, he ends up spiraling downwards, you know? And the way I see it is that the spiraling is something that's kind of like intricately human. We can't help but spiral. However, we can't choose in which direction, right? Spiral, we're gonna spiral, but in which direction do we want to spiral, right? So that's gonna be our fractal for today. It is Wednesday, my dear dudes, dudettes, and dunts. It's nice having you friends here. Wiggle Wednesday it is, Doctor. Sending you blessings, man. Let me get us some music playing, and then we'll get dancing. I am ready. I feel a little bit stiff. I feel like crying, weirdly enough. I feel like I feel like my soul is crying a little bit. If that makes any sense. So let's see how that influences my dancing. Mm-mm-mm. Mm-hmm. 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 So I've been listening to the same tracks a lot as of late. So I'm going to go directly to one of my artists and then listen to his music. He's called From Space. So we're going to dance to music that comes from space. I don't know if that's how he intends for his name to be read, but it is cool. So I'm gonna do it anyway. We'll listen to this one. Yeah, like I've danced. There we go. I've definitely danced to his tracks before, so you friends will probably notice some similarities. But it's gonna be fun. This one has flowers. So I'll put that one. I don't recognize the thumbnail, so it might not be as good. But it has flowers. So we have 4 tracks lined up from the same artist. Bless you from space. Thank you for blessing us with your music. Done for now? Yes? Next track? Ooh, I am breathe air. Joy Vive! Missed ya! 2011s. To all of the friends that are good. This is for you, you know? This is for you. It's a thank you. Hey, Luke. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It catches me off guard every time. I love the rest of the track, but I can't change it right now. So it is what it is. Something just ain't right. I'm cold inside. Help me find what I'm missing. I'm scared to fight. Still we try. Learn to be brave. See the other side. Won't you leave me there? I have no fear. Hold your hand. Find back your heart.
So rather than asking what freedom means, maybe you should ask yourself, are you free?
love in chat. I'm happy. Prestas. There's more. More dancing has to come. From space gives us a break in between. Whoo! Let me breathe. This song has one main song line, and it goes, dance till you die. And you can see it morbidly. You can let yourself spiral downwards. I'm gonna dance so much I'm gonna die. Or you can spiral upwards. Until the day I die, I'll be dancing. See what I mean?
Dance is important to all of us. And I think and strongly believe that we need dance, but dance also needs us. Because dance is life, and to dance is human.
Bro, where's my music? Where's my music at? Come on, bro, come on. I can only carry for so long. It gets heavy, yo. Oh, please, man. Where's my music? Out there. You're silly thingy. You're silly thing. Okay, is that enough? I'm pretty beat. Okay. We didn't dance until we died it. You still want more? How are you not tired? Where does your insatiable energy come from? Teach me your ways. Wise doggo. Teach me your ways. How do you do it? I got you. I got you. I got you. I got you now. I got you now. I got you. Gotcha. Gotcha. All right. Woo! That was quite something. Hey, Zano! Bless you. Is Nancy here too? Yeah. Sam, seeing your name makes my heart happy. To all of the lurkers, triple love to you today. Quadruple love. Penta love. You deserve even more. Thank you, friends. Thank you for tuning in, for letting me dance. I hope you're dancing with me. This is a little bit more embarrassing if you're not dancing with me. You need to be embarrassing for me, not embarrassing for you. Since the stroke is attached to spirit, perhaps. I think I might be missing context, Luke. I need to interface with your friends as fractal. I'm gonna get myself set up for a full break out of the direct sunlight. Even though it's a little bit overcast, it's not enough. Talking about that doggo. Look, at just sprinting to meet one of the other doggos. Hello, doggos! Hey, you doggos! What you doing? What you doing, doggos? What you doing? Look, they're getting stuck. What you doing? Huh? What's it called? What you doing? I'm gonna have to take your legs. You're standing very tall right now. Seems like you might be looking at the grass a little bit. Woo! Like I'm kind of cooking right now a little bit. Heart's still racing. Body temperature is still rising. I imagine my body imagines that I'm doing a very stylized run away from a lion. Super stylized. Right, not running in a straight line, but hopping and jumping so that his claws don't catch me legs. Okay. Switching here. Pretend these things will exist. This is a flower growing out of the ground. It fell over. It kind of works, right? As soon as I say stuff like that, your brain is like, oh yeah, I can see it. Whoa! It's actually a pretty nice track from space as well. Maybe next time we'll do it. Ooh, I need to catch my breath still. I'm seeing yesterday's flower. You want to see what I saw? Look at this. Look at this. Yeah. I really like how these little shapes turned out. Like I'll put that as like a company logo and call myself happy. It looks kind of like a bug, right? The center shape is also pretty. Also bug-like. Also kind of bug-like. What else? No, I think those are my favorite shapes. Yeah. That's cool, Mel. No, you, Nanchi. You were but seeing the reflection of thine self. Right? I heard this line today from a video called The Ladium. The Ladium. Goodness. I'm definitely getting endorphin right now. The Lady of the Mycelium Palace, or something like that. And there was this line about seeing the sparkle in rubies. And how if you don't see the sparkle in rubies, it's because you fail to recognize the glimmer or the brightness, the shine, the something like that, iridescence maybe of your own life, right? That the beauty you see in things is yourself ultimately. I am but creating mirrors for you to look at yourself through. Yeah, suddenly today's stream topic is Meltmore talks about mirroring. And in a weird way, we can go in that direction because today's stream topic is about guiding your mind, right? I did say it at the start, but maybe some of your friends weren't here. We're going to spiral, always, right? Life is an ebb and flow. That ebb and flow is a two-dimensional fractal of a spiral. So we're going to spiral either way. Spiraling is a part of this experience, it seems. However, by guiding our minds, we can choose in which direction we spiral. And for me, to just like get it off the bat and off my chest right off, I am biased. I believe the best way to get yourself to spiral in the right direction is to remind yourself love is true, right? To ultimately, from the spiral starting point, start from the premise that love is true. And in my mind, that means that you're basically giving yourself a direction, right? Like north is true, right? If you want to get somewhere using a compass, you want your north to be true, to say it in such a way, right? You want love to be true if you're going in the right direction. So spiraling from that point on forward, you get to go in the right direction. However, and it originated from a conversation I had with my dad, and it's been a few of them, and I had this conversation with my mom as well last night, about how the bad we see in the world, more often than not, ends up being the spiral we see inside, right? And to really take responsibility on an individual level for the bad stuff, we kind of like infer or assume ultimately about the world. And I'm not saying that all of your assumptions will be wrong. I'm just biased to believe that most of them will be, right? And unfortunately, making assumptions about the world can also be used as a safety mechanism, right? You might assume something about a person, and then that assumption leads you to protecting yourself in a certain way from that person, and that extra layer of precaution might end up saving your life, right? And I understand that fractal of it. And that's why it's so important for us to kind of like be ultra vigilant. And it's hard for us to just write off the fact that most of the bad stuff happens on the inside, right? Again, I believe it's an Epictetus quote. I believe it's an Epictetus quote, but it might be Socrates, one of the great, Stoic philosophers. And I love it so much, and I keep repeating it over and over to myself because I really want it to be well understood by my being, right? By my forgetful ego self, my monkey, if you will. It goes, there are more things to be alarmed by than there are things to be harmed by. And as such, people suffer more in mind than they do in actuality, right? That we get ourselves so caught up thinking, catastrophizing, spiraling downwards, worse and worse and worse and worse and worse, in worst case scenario, worst case scenario, worst case scenario, that we end up suffering that pit of despair, and then we end up experiencing the thing that we were dreading, or getting through the experience that we catastrophized and put ourselves in a pit of despair in preparation for. And then it's not that bad, right? We don't actually suffer that much in actuality. And I feel that's the point, for me at least today, in bringing this topic up in our minds for this year going forward, to really take an active approach in our spiral, right? In which direction are we actively spiraling? Because I do believe it's in part a choice, and it's a moment by moment choice. It's one of those choices you don't get to make once and then be done, right? It's like pulling out weeds in your metaphorical mind garden, right? That's what guiding your mind is like. It's like you find yourself going through your day, seeing something, thinking about a business prospect, and thinking about maybe a person who is in competition with you. And then a certain meanness arises in your spirit, right? Which is completely unwarranted, right? It doesn't technically make any sense. It finds itself in an illusionary state, right? And then to be able to just take a step back, realize that that's not who you want to be, and guide your mind, right? Take out that idea and replace it with something like, you know what? Maybe, I don't want this person competing with me, but also this person might have a family. This person also has personal needs, right? And their success is a good thing. To just tell that, you might not even believe it. In that moment, you might not even believe it. But that is how we guide our minds, slowly but surely, right? Like a naughty child that keeps wanting to run away. It shouldn't be silenced. The point is not to silence the mind, not to like stomp it down. The point is to guide it, to be like, yo, I get it, you're angry, you're hungry, you're upset, you're sad, you feel insecure, you feel unseen by the world. I get it, I do. But also, love is true, right? Say to your mind, guide them, being like, oh yeah, what's up? Love is true, right? Nudgy, nudgy to your mind. It's nice having you friends here. Okay, topic introduced. I feel like I said what I wanted to say about it. I appreciate you friends for being here for that. Just realized I can turn the volume down and get kind of the same results. I liked it better without the music. Just Mel dancing and breathing. Yeah, that's what it sounds like normally, probably. But it gives me less information, right? I have to generate like because it is a state of flow, right? My mind waves sync up with the beats of the music. So technically I can still continue to sync. But then I kind of like the music when it changes the syncs, right? And I have to readjust. I have to re-problem solve. I have to remove my body to fit with the whatevers. And it is enjoyable to dance with the music. It might not be the easiest music to dance to, but that's the reason I like dancing, or to listen to, but that's the reason I like dancing to it. It's attached to the spirit, perhaps. Maybe you're talking about Ram Dass, Did the music just die? Are we listening to Mel breathing, or is it just me? Yes, Sam. Usually I stop dancing when the music stops, but today I was like, you know what? You know what? You think I can be stopped? Nay. I shall continue. I'm brushing my teeth. It's a sort of dance. Yeah, I think so. You're following rhythm, right? You're using your body actively. I was dancing, making coffee, blasted the doggo. It is backwards day, man. I'm cuddling in my bed under the covers with my baba. We cozy. Extra cozy today, are we, baby? Me being the flaming yogi, you know. Puts on me spectacles, looks at my attendance sheet. Ah, I notice, Miss Joyvive, that you were missing attendance today. Care to explain? Puts on spectacles again. Checks down the list. Aha, Sam! I also noticed Yivi. Were you and Joyvive smoking fat blunts in the bathroom again? Joyvive and Sam are like, they 100% smoked fat blunts in the bathroom. Just in class. I said it both of you lessons. I'm just poking fun. I did miss your presence. You were loved. I hope you rested well this morning. This flower makes me think of roasted red pepper, and that's my favorite. So it makes me happy. Bless you, Zana. Maybe that could be like a artisanal food package design, right? I can see it happening. Maybe one day. Man, the sun is like directly shining on my tablet screen and bouncing back in my face. Yeah, that works. Zonogo dancing phalanges. Shadagato, good morning, listener and listening, Kristen. Bless. So much love. That's actually so wholesome. There are some pink little leggy flower buggies in that flower that I liked. Bless. I'm happy that you saw more bugs as well. Made me think of muscle tissue. I've been watching too much Attack on Titan, I guess. You see, like this? No. No, I don't think so, Joyviv. I believe, honestly, that that's what makes my art. Again, as I said previously, it's literally a mirror that I'm providing. It's technically, like, I believe me as a person, as Meltmore, is but a mirror as well. You can't see the real me, right? Like, there are layers of me that even I don't know about yet, right? Even me, and I live inside of myself or whatever. All right. So you can't know me technically. So the version of me you know is technically a reflection of you, right? So this is a mirror. This is a mirror, and you can be a mirror to me, to self-inquiry, and to learn more about myself. And knowing that we are the same self, trying to get to know the self, and that what the self wants to know is love, we get to offer that to one another. So the fact that you see muscle tissue with the fractal of watching Attack on Titan, you can see it as a bad thing, or you can see it as just your reflection of self in that moment through that flower, right? And I don't think there's anything wrong. All of us have muscle tissue, right? If muscle tissue suddenly stopped being a thing, all of us would fall to the ground, you know, unable to move. That doesn't sound very romantic, right? So muscle tissue is pretty freaking stoked. I know that's pretty cool. Thank you, JV, for telling us. I appreciate that. I've been watching it over again since putting it down in 2018, and you can say I'm binging. I binged it as well. I binged it up until I think episode 1 of the final 2-part season. I'm like still waiting. I think I'm waiting for you to catch up. All of you, you know, let me know if you start that one, and I'll start watching again as well. It is pretty bingeable, right? Because it keeps you like, what's gonna happen? Keeps you on cliffhangers every single episode. Suffer is the dread, not the experience. I believe suffer is the wanting for things to be different, right? And that can be dread. That can be a sense of dread. But to me, it's like a self-created moment, right? Because like as soon as you get yourself caught in that loop of things are this way right now, but I want for them to be that way, but they're not going to get any more that way by my just wanting of it to be that way in this moment. And if I continue doing that, that's when I suffer, right? And technically, it's effort. It is. You have to like literally exhaust mental effort on suffering. Instead, it's a downward spiral, right? Because the more you want for it to be this way, the more you realize that it isn't, and the more you realize how it's not going to be this way in this moment, and there's nothing you can do, and darker and darker, spiraling down and down and down, right? That's suffering to me, and you can do that upwards as well, and that upwards, that going upwards and realizing that you are kind of already there, where it is you're going, that is enlightenment. It is the realizing that you were already a part of that thing. It's not a momentary, oh, now suddenly I have hit this point of enlightenment to the ego. It is transitory. It's like, taking a scoop of ice cream and being like, scoop of ice cream. And then you move on with your life. Sure, you can take another scoop of ice cream. You can find moments in your life where you'll have more of, scoop of ice cream, I am one with the universe. You'll have those, but it's not going to change anything. You're still going to have to go to the bathroom, wash your body, relentless work, uncertainty, pain, all of these things are still going to be a part of your experience despite your enlightenment. And then we end up almost like writing it off as something that's impossible to achieve because it's not something to be achieved. Guiding our minds. We're guiding our minds towards the impossible. That sounds kind of romantic though, doesn't it? Doesn't it sound kind of romantic? Oh, we are guiding our minds towards the impossible. That sounds like a cool ass, melting pot slogan. Guiding minds towards the impossible. It can also sound like, I don't know, like I'm just imagining, like technically it can work in digital space, right? Because technically in digital space, you can do the impossible. Because it's not technically impossible for a human being to fly, but in digital space, you can just suddenly disable the code for whatever gravity you have in your world, right? And then you can enable your movement inputs to be able to move in three-dimensional space, right? You can just do that, which is impossible in this realm. So yeah, you know what? It works. I'll take it. I'll put it in one of the vaults. Maybe undig it one day again. Hey Josh Mo, blessings to you, bro. It's nice seeing your name. My thoughts, like, I don't like this, but love is there. So, right, it's what you find. It's what you look for. You find what you look for kind of vibe. Second thing, everything, boom, love, bless you. Jules, it's nice seeing your name, friend. I had a spiraling up dream. I kept turning back, and I left friends behind until I didn't. The thing about leaving friends behind is I believe the friends you've made in this world exist multidimensionally. And you are friends with those entities multidimensionally as well. Right? You're not only friends with them in this plane, but you're friends with them in those planes as well. So spiraling upwards, you don't leave anybody behind because you'll find them again as you continue, exceeding your own limitations. It's like one of those things where you might have a friend who's pursuing a certain life path. Let's just say it like that. Keep it, 100% ambiguous. No judgments needs to be cast. And this life path is not something that resonates or aligns with the life path that you want to be living. And your sharing of advice with them or trying to help them might be received as invasive or uncalled for by the person you're trying to help. And you might end up not seeing that person for a very long time. And it's very likely that they'll end up growing eventually. And there will be a time in their lives where they come to the same conclusions that you were trying to share with them. And I feel maybe the most important thing is just to keep ourselves open. Like the amount of pride that gets involved with not reaching out and not saying something and overcoming that inertia of what is this person going to think of me. You deserve second chances. Maybe that's a fractal, right? Guiding our minds towards believing we deserve second chances as well. Other people too, a part of the we. Yes, I was smoking grass and not yoga and you caught me. I forgot to set my alarm. I didn't mean to miss you. No, you're so okay. I was like, oh, where's Savin Jarviv? Right? It wasn't like, how dare you not be there. It's just your presence was missed. Having all kinds of flashbacks to getting in trouble in school with the glasses as well. When I spiral, it's when I give too many tasks, when I'm given too many tasks. Some that I want to do, and then some that I have to do. So I usually end up in like a free spiral at the end of my bed, feeling shameful about how I don't want to vacuum or take care of my body and just want to lock myself in a room and paint for days without being disturbed. Yeah, I feel like unfortunately with those kind of things, we have to kind of set ourselves a schedule, Zano. That's that's why like and I've said this before and I'll say it again. Please join our yoga sometimes and most days, right? At this point, maybe even higher higher 90, maybe even 95 percentile of my exercise exclusively comes from the 15, 20-minute yoga sessions we do, right? Your mornings, my afternoon. And even though it's not a lot, I feel it's been enough for me to stay healthy, to stay active, and to kind of like stave that like, you haven't done any movement, you're wrecking me. My body says to myself, I feel that stiffness and I feel that, right? And I'm like, bro, I know. So I get to like stave that feeling just by doing the 15 minutes. And it is free, right? We have like a little, us friends, we got accountability buddies. It does help, right? Setting the schedule, just showing up for it. And you can go back to sleep. Some of our friends do, right? After you've done the yoga. I know it's early. I want the best for you, dear friend. I really want the best for you. It's a little bit, 15 minutes, right? 15 minutes is such a small sliver of time. And you can leave. You don't have to stay for the, formalities. You can just get into it, and as soon as I go into Shavasana, you can go out. And that's like 15 minutes, right? At most 15 minutes. The final series run wouldn't be hard to schedule. Yeah, maybe that would be the way to do it actually, Sam. I just had the pleasure of teaching Duckling how to properly walk down a driveway. That is a complete sheet of ice. The penguin walk is the key. She thought I was joking, took her first step, and flew up in the air. I started laughing and said, "Do you understand why? We're penguin shuffling." And she said, "Yes, this must be why penguins do it. It's so slippery." Like, it's so crazy how my mind, was like in the fractal of like super technical, right? Weight distribution and surface area, like the amount of grip that is being made onto the surface of ice. Like, my mind is like calculating, like, sure, Dad, I can explain to you the mathematics of friction. And your child is like, oh, yeah, that's why the penguins do it, which is a smarter answer if you really think about it. Oh, bro. The kids are so far ahead of us. Oh goodness, already. It's gonna be wild seeing them as grown adults. Bless your little one, bro. Probably gonna buy so much American land as soon as I get to America. I don't know if this joke kind of translates, but in South Africa we have this joke where if you fall, we say "jy koop 'n plaas," which directly translates to "you buy a farm." When you fall onto the ground, and especially if you draw blood, right? If there's blood leaking and your blood gets on the land, it's like buying it, That's like the running joke. Of course, it doesn't work that way. I would literally be throwing myself on mountains. I'd see cool rocks and I just throw myself onto the fucking rocks. I would probably just like have like limited bits of my front-facing body left, Maybe I'll start by throwing my back at rocks first. I'm sorry. This is so freaking gruesome. I'm sorry. But yeah, I'm probably going to fall a bunch, right? Because I don't have a duck dad that taught me how to walk on ice. This makes me sound like I'm complaining about not having a dad. No, it's more complaining about not having ice. I've never walked on sheets of ice. Oh goodness, bro. I'm gonna come with with like nail stud shoes or something. I'm gonna buy myself a pair at the airport or something as soon as I land in America. Just walk around with military boots. Oh, bless you. Duckling ice skated on her butt. Did you catch her, or did she just like kind of like walk ahead? I'm not sure how the fractal work. At least she's small. She didn't fall that hard. Luckily, you land on your butt. But let me tell you from experience, the Ice Queen of Chicago land is rooting against you for butt landings. Yeah, like you can break things. Cheers, thank you, break. Ooh, that's not a good time. That's not a good time, and that's a lot of pressure on your spine as well. Like, you can maybe like pop a disc. Rather not. You don't want to be falling on your ass. Stay on your feet. Practice yoga. Yoga gives you better balance. Did I tell you about my yoga class? Oh, okay, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I usually have one leg slipping out in the air like a cartoon character on a banana peel. I'm imagining the sound in the background as well, dude. Zano, you're unintentionally narrating my brain again. Love is true, right? Like, I do believe we already are hive minding. I've said this. This is already hive minding right now. Like, we're having a collective experience. And I believe that is one way to consciously evolve. If a bunch of cells in our bodies come together to make this one unified experience, right? And this unified experience can evolve, right? I can have children, and then my children becomes a combination of my DNA and the mother's DNA, right? And then that becomes a whole new person with whole new traits, and that can, push the evolutionary pace forward, right? Like we are in multiple different ways, smaller parts of larger evolution. And I believe by coming together in the way we are right now, we are doing a higher dimensional version of that, right? Instead of getting our bodies involved, and we are technically getting our bodies involved, right? Like we have to interpret information through our eyes and through our ears and process the information in our minds. So there's still some bodily involvement, but there's no physical, right? Like we don't have to touch physically interface with this experience to gain from it, right? And I wonder what it's doing to our DNA. I wonder what it's doing to our minds, right? To grow in this way. I believe it's conscious evolution, but what does that look like, right? Will it look like a demethylization of certain, oxidations on your DNA, right? Like the epigenome. Would it be like an epigenome expression kind of thing? I don't think it would be like physically. Maybe could be a methylization of certain gene expressions, right? Like turning on of certain of our genes. I do believe that there are certain genes that gets turned on as soon as we find ourselves in a social setting, right? You do feel different when you're alone at home, sitting in front of your computer, watching something. That energy that you occupy is different energetically to the energy you occupy when you're amongst people, maybe like having dinner, right? And I'm not saying that one is better than the other. I'm just saying that they're different, right? And you guide your mind in different ways, and how you guide your mind and where you guide your mind and how easy it is to guide your mind is different as well. For instance, if you find yourself in a social situation where you don't feel very comfortable or very appreciated by people, you might end up spiraling downward significantly easier, right? Where if you're alone, there's no potential negative influences on the outside world other than the media you choose to consume. You can technically still spiral downward in that fractal as well, but it might be easier for you to spiral upwards because of the lack of, extra informational input. And especially for people on the spectrum, that ends up being where we gravitate towards because it's something that we have control over, right? Where social dynamics is not so easy to control our spiraling minds. But it is possible. I believe at least. I'm trying to get better at it little by little. Slowly but surely, It's like a muscle. It's like something that you have to practice. And this is practice. I do believe you're practicing right now. So congratulations. You're getting stronger. I think I know what you're saying. Too many irons in the fire makes me want to hide as well. I start weighing the importance of the task versus my own peace of mind. And both hold weight, absolutely. Jack, bless you. How's everyone doing today? I'm feeling good. I'm feeling present. I'm feeling hopeful. I'm feeling I felt like a sadness a little bit earlier. I was thinking about yesterday's stream a little bit, and like the way I felt. And You know, that state of being, hey, what is that? Suddenly felt a spray on me. Strange. Maybe it was just, you know what? Some cosmic entity just brushed my arm. Thank you, cosmic. That's so nice of you. Right, that experience of connectedness and thinking again about, you know, its accessibility, what it looks like from the outside, what it is like from the inside, what it means to different people, if some people have experienced it at all. Is it something that you can guide people towards? Is it something you can guide yourself towards? Is there guidance necessary, or is it something that you'll find eventually? Is it eventually death? Do most people only realize how valuable their life is when it's over? And it did make me like, bruh, human beings, I love you so much, but what are we doing? And here we are. I hope your friends are feeling well. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling hopeful. I'm still feeling a deep sense of appreciation and excitement for this year. Like this sense of limbo now a little bit as well. Like we're like in the between again, like the purgatory kind of experience. Love is true though. I've been thinking more about joining yoga again. Do Zano, please. It's open to you. We would love to have you there. How much snow did you get? My aunt, who is in Peoria, Pretoria, built a snowman. I'm guessing you got slammed pretty good. That's probably America in that case. We always start the day off with 2.5, 3-mile walks with Hootie, our dog. That sounds great, actually. Jack, that sounds really good, man. That would be, you know, something your body is going to be stoked about for the rest of your life. I don't know how early you do the walk, but if you're doing it like around sunrise and you're getting that red light, that's really good for you as well. Like that stuff penetrates into your bone marrow and stimulates like cell production. You know, that's really good for you. So I'm happy that you're doing that for yourself and for your doggo. Bless you both. For reasons too long and boring to get into, I have to do some work stuff at this too early hour of the morning. Enjoy yourselves, everyone. Nancy, you might not be here anymore, friend, but remember that you are the expression of love in your life, in your workplace, in your role that you're playing right now. I'm sorry, sounds like it sucks. I don't know how early it is. It might be like between 7 and like 11 in the morning still for you. Good luck. Hopefully you don't have to do this, you know, every day for a while, but I'm sending you strength for today, at the very least. Do I see Heather in chat? Hey, Heather. It's nice having you here, as always, in this moment. Today's stream topic is about spiraling upwards instead of spiraling downwards, right? And realize that it really just takes us that moment to guide ourselves upwards or downwards, right? It's like a small lever that we have to really move. Listening to the show makes me feel better. You deserve to feel good, Jack. Like it breaks my heart that we don't feel better in this current life we find ourselves in, bro. Human beings deserve a lot better. You know, when I think of it from a perspective of like pets, you know, we can already get ourselves behind the understanding that we have these little animals that live in our homes. And sure, they're small, and sure, they don't need as much to eat, and sure, we have mass-produced their kibble, and we get to purchase it for relatively inexpensively. But still, we can, as a society, get ourselves behind this narrative that we have these living things that we love, right? And we, from that place of love, are willing to take care of them and feed them, right? I would like to believe that humanity and individual human beings aren't technically mutually exclusive, but they do occupy different places within the metaphysical realm of existence, right? And there is, unfortunately, inherently within humanity, a certain level of self-hatred and masochism, right? Like hurting ourselves. And I would like to hope and believe, and maybe if we actively participate in guiding our minds towards that reality, a world where we start seeing the individual human being lovingly in the same way we would see our pets. And the idea of taking care of one another, making sure everybody has kibble, kibble to eat, at the very least, kibble to eat, right? And kibble to me is literally blueberries, right? Freaking start planting blueberries everywhere, right? I don't want to see a garden bed empty. I want to see blueberries growing everywhere, right? I want there to be so many blueberries. I want us to turn blue as human beings. Kinda, really, really. I don't know why, but I do kind of want to be blue. It's a little bit, it's a little bit blue, right? So, I'm again reeling myself back a little bit because I instantly ADHD. Taking care of human beings, kind of like understanding that, yeah, the bare minimum, if we're going to love our species, if the whole point of our economy and of procreating and of this whole thing we call humanity is to humanity, then at the very least, take care of it, right? Right, like, yeah, profit as much as you want to, right? Luxury goods, cool vehicles, cool experiences, luxury meals, caviar, things that are, hand bred, artisanal. You want to reward individual hard work for the stuff that they created. That stuff can coexist alongside taking care of the individual human being. We have more than enough food. We're throwing away more food than there is needed to feed the places that don't have enough of it, right? Right now, today. That's before we really switch on when it comes to our, roboticized agriculture. Guiding our minds. I know that maybe on an individual level, none of us can really move a large lever to now just be like, oh yeah, Melt, I agree. Human beings should have food. Let me flip my switch quickly, Melt. Oh, silly me, Melt. I forgot to flip my switch. No, I'm not. I'm not that naive. I am pretty naive. Don't get me wrong, but not that naive. I just think as we start from this moment forward, start guiding our minds towards seeing that as a potential reality for our species, it is significantly easier spiraling towards that than to spiral downward, right? Where food becomes more and more unaffordable and we get paid less and less and there's more and more exploitation and there's more and more joblessness, right? That's not the spiral I want to be a part of. No, thank you. No, please. No, please, let's spiral this way, please. No, please. No, no, please. I shall not go down that easily. I'll try. I'm not. I had a Canadian friend who worked construction with. He was the master when it came to tumbling out of a fall. He always said it was because he learned how to walk on ice. He learned how to walk on ice. That's even better, bro. The perspective difference again. I think I'm like far behind. Am I? No, not that far behind. Okay, good. Surprising as a specialist to teach. Bless you again, Jack. Thank you for blessing me with some abundance, Brother Bear. I really appreciate that. Jack is the slogan for the lesson. Something like, if you're gonna be clumsy, try being bouncy. I mean, not impossible. We can make suits. We can make suits that makes you bouncy. It'll have to have like inflatable parts and like accelerometers, but it can be done. It can be done. We can make us bouncy. I don't know how to fall correctly. Keep practicing yoga. You'll fall enough to the point where you'll hurt yourself enough, to the point where you'll learn how to not hurt yourself. And I know that sounds like really bad advice, and it is. I am mostly joking. Mostly, yoga will teach you stability, right? And that stability will teach you how to not fall as much. And there's only one way to do it, and it's to put yourself in positions where you feel unstable. And then your body literally has to construct the infrastructure to create stability in your being. Otherwise, you fall over. Is that a lane? Oh, Hugo! I see Lane in chat right now. Blessings, bro. Happy New Year. May it be a beautiful one. You have anything exciting coming up? We're moving out, dude, in like 10 days. No, 20 days. Math is hard. 20 days. We're moving out, creating a new chapter of life as well. I hope the same for you. I see Sena here as well. Blessings, dear friend. It's nice having you. That's why we keep coming back. Love is true. We fall, we learn, we adjust, we teach, we grow over and over again. Sana says, good morning, beautiful friends in Meltmore. Happy New Year to you too, dear friend. It's been a minute since I've been on here. I miss you, friend, so much. A lot has happened, and there were so many ups and downs last year. And here you still are, standing strong, standing lovingly, standing kind. Happy to be in this space alongside us, Sana. It's nice having you here too. Love is true. I'm pretty sure. Like I have like 95% certainty that this is going to be a good year for all of us. Wild new chapters. I'll be moving out of my own within a couple of months. Yeah, look at that. Look at that, Lane. New adventures coming for us, bro. New ways of living, new experiences. You're 3 hours ahead of me, Jack. Ooh, 10 in Ohio. Might make it a little easier. Yeah, Joy Vive is getting up at like 5:30 a.m. to do the yoga. Like she's an absolute champion. Tomorrow is the first blank page of a 365-day page book. Write a good one. Bradley Parsley. What will I write in my book today? Today, I decided to spiral upwards, choosing to actively acknowledge the thoughts that make me feel worse and point them in the other direction. I will not be dragged down by the things that make me feel unworthy, unseen, unloved, unappreciated. For I know I am not these things. Love is true. I know what I have to do. Yeah. Spiral upwards. Spiral upwards. Up and up we go, dear friends. Up and up we go. And it doesn't mean you'll find moments where you're going in circles. Doesn't mean you'll have days where you feel a little bit down again. All right? But every second you spend spiraling upwards, you're spiraling upwards, right? And sure, you can be like, oh, life sucks, and then you spiral downwards again. But you've still made progress in this chain, right? You're literally DNA standing in front of us in the human form right now, right? Literally a spiral, spiraling upwards, creating more and more information. You have generational information in your being, coded into yourself right now. Spiral upwards, dear friends. You have a lot of potential. I'm working on my upward spiral against gravity, but still dominoes. You got this, dear friend. Like again, we have a lot of time, and all you have to do is spend this moment spiraling upwards, just for a second, right? And you're like, what does spiraling upwards even mean, Mel? You can do like, what am I grateful for? I can look around myself. I'm grateful for the way the clouds are streaking. Let me show you. All right? That makes me happy. That's beautiful. Thank you, universe. I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful for the cheeping birds. Cheep, 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 cheep. Happy little duties. Cheep, cheep, cheep. I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful for the amount of green things are popping off. Like it's been pretty humid, which is not that fun for me, but the plants love it. All right, they're stoked about it. So I'm grateful for that as well. I'm grateful for you, friends. I'm so grateful for you, friends. The fact that we have people that are choosing to spend some of their time alongside us. Right? That's what spiraling upwards looks like, at least experientially, in a moment. You can just look around yourself and find things that you're grateful for and really acknowledging it and just feeling, just for a second, feeling like, oh, yeah, you know, things could be worse. So things are good for me. Spiral. Upward, 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 upward. Right? And then by acknowledging that kind of stuff, by acknowledging that gratitude, you put yourself in a better position to receive more from the universe. This is not the hippie side of me kicking in, right? But also, it makes it easier. It literally, experientially, and by the moment, makes it easier for you to be more successful, more abundant, more happy in the universe, right? Like it's a double whammy. Not only will the universe want to help you, but you're gonna want to help the universe. Both of you will be spiraling upwards. So many friends here in stream right now. 17, nice. 17, 4 uptoots, 5 taras, right? So many numbers. Bless all of you. Thank you, friends, for joining me. I hope everyone in the US is safe and well with the storm that has made a wave through most of the states. Thank you for letting me know. I don't know about these things. I don't even keep up with my own weather, you know, never mind the world's. Stay safe, dear friends. tune back in, all right? Tune back in tomorrow and the day after. We'll be showing up for you. Already replant your vegetable and fruit scraps. Composting, right? Always great to see you all. Loving the greenery in the background. We just got a shit ton of snow where I live. It's so cold. Yeah. Get to share the green with you, right? The flip flopping of reality. That this is now my. I mean, I don't ever get the snow on everything. Like that's not part of my world, but I get to at least share this one with you now. Then well, I hope everyone in love again to you. Spiraling upwards can happen slower if we allow it to happen gradually. I believe it is better to elevate ourselves by using a house of bricks that is erected meticulously, rather than a house of cards that is built on loosely gathered resources. So, I feel like I got something on my teeth. It's disturbing me. It might disturb you too. We can both be disturbed. I'm sorry. That's better. So this house of cards versus house of bricks, analogy. It's making me think of where you are allowing yourself to spiral when it comes to the mind as well, right? Because the mind, technically, for me at the very least, is a filter through which you are interfacing with this reality, right? It's like a stopgap. It gives you like a buffer zone to interpret what is going on. But there is something beyond that that is the observer of the interpretation, right? That just lovingly allows whatever is unfolding to happen, right? And is witness to all of that from a place of love, allowing it, right? And then there is the ego, the one that gets itself all caught up in the witnessing of whatever is going on, right? Tells itself a story of what it has to do with the whole situation. And unfortunately, a lot of us spend our whole lives, from the Buddhist perspective, grinding on this ego self, right? Like trying to build this ego self with the information, with the likes and the wants, with the goals, with the aspirations that we have in this physical form, and it is kind of in Joe's message, at least this is the way I'm interpreting it, like building a house of cards, because you're holding up these little cards of, oh, now this is who I am. Now I'm Meltmore. Now I'm someone who makes flowers. Now I'm someone who gives yoga classes. Now I'm someone who does live streams. Now I'm someone who likes growing plants. Now I'm someone who hosts festivals, right? It's me holding up these different roles, these different masks. But technically, there is still something behind the thing holding the mask. And if I completely align myself with only building this house of cards actively, and I don't realize that there is something more structured, something more solid, something more foundational, right? That is kind of like laying underneath that house of cards that I'm kind of like building up from, that I'm kind of missing the point, right? And I don't know if you need to build on it. That's the thing that I'm tripping out about like right now, Joshua, is that even though I do believe that there is certain like spiritual, and I think maybe it's a balance thing again, right? That's the way I guess it's supposed to be, right? Like it's like your higher self is already more evolved than you are, right? So it's kind of counterintuitive to try and guide your higher self, right? Your higher self is the one that's supposed to guide you. And yet, maybe in listening to your higher self's guidance, instead of listening to your ego's guidance, you might end up putting down bricks instead of cards. Is that the way it's supposed to be interpreted? I love you, Joshua. Like I can feel your mind interfacing with this idea and my mind interfacing with this idea, and knowing that your mind is interfacing, and like that photo that you sent me is like just like literally burned into my neurons. Love is true, bro. Sending you good vibes, all of you friends. Your family is moving, just me. Just me smelling. Just me. I'm gonna have to get myself recast in a new space. Already found it, Heather. Already found the space. I'm pretty sure it's ours. A part of me feels still like I don't want to believe it. I don't want to believe it until I've put my feet on the soil, right? But it should be a done deal. Should be. There's no internet. Like I just like I think, and this is me kind of like catastrophizing. Yes, catastrophizing. My word now. You know, a little bit. I'm suffering more in mind than in actuality. But there is no internet. There's no fiber. There's no ADSL. Like, and if you look at the coverage, it's so trippy. There's like internet everywhere. And then like we find ourselves literally in between mountains. So like our space like is like a mountain range, like a massive mountain range that runs, and then it flattens out, and then there's a flat space, and then that same mountain range, like if you look at it from Google Maps, you can literally see this stroke, like literally it looks like, you know, I don't know how many of you friends have played like, you know, earth building simulators, but literally as if like someone had like a pen, you know, to extrude landmass and just like made a line, and then they like relieved pressure on like one spot, and then they were like, oh, I relieved pressure, and then recreated some pressure to create the rest of the line, right? And then on that little flat spot, that's where we'll be living. Like, and it's ideal technically for, you know, good sun exposure, for example, right? So I'm like super stoked about it. But as a caveat, I don't think there's any signal there, right? It's like kind of like a, you know, like a dead zone, if you will. So we might end up having to go straight satellite based. Like there's internet technically available, right, coming from the space right now above me. So we're going to have to bite a little bit of a bullet, you know, with like the prices. But that might be the only way. The other way is like LTE, and I don't know if I trust that. Maybe for like a secondary line, like a redundancy internet connection, but I don't think it's gonna cut it. Rather than a house of cards that is built on loosely gathered resources. Bless you again. I have been moving out of my own within a couple of months. Bless you again. Wild new chapters. I look forward to catching up moment by moment here in these streams with you, bro, as we continue. That is the way God sees us, you and me, and everyone who has ever inched their way on this earth. He sees not our history, but our destiny, not what we once were, but what we will one day become. And I believe seeing ourselves is that as well. Seeing one another through that lens allows us to be more kind, more soft-hearted, more understanding, more compassionate, more empathetic with people, right, than we usually are, right? It's like a higher dimensional lens to see people through. Bless you, Sana, on that journey as well. It'll be good, new change, absolutely. I just have to be confident that I'll figure it out as I go. Lol. I like that little added lol, bro, because that's literally my state of being right now as well, where I'm like, I'm doing what now? I'm doing what? Why am I moving out? I'm saving some money, not paying rent. At least my rent is not expensive. That's the one thing that I am kind of giving myself a sense of solace with, right? Is the fact that it's not that much money. It's like it's like technically with the internet, it's gonna be $100, 110 bucks for rent and internet, right? So I can swing that, right? For me, the thing with like rent is the fact that it just eviscerates that money, right? It's not like I'm paying for a part, or I'm paying for a tool that I can create with and that can potentially earn me capital. It's just like, and sure, I have now this box over top my head and I get to schlep on bed, right? So I guess I understand what I'm paying for, but I would like to sleep on wheels, hopefully within the next 5 years. That's the hope. If I can keep paying this amount of rent for like the next 5 years, I should be able to save enough money to get ourselves that van, right? Because that's like technically my short-term goal, right? Get ourselves an e-van so we can start traveling South Africa just nilly-willy. And I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna sit down with a few friends, and we're going to like push a button on the map, and I'm gonna be like, oh look, there's a body of water here. And I'm going to click on that body of water, and I'm going to say, give directions, and then we're going to start and we're going to drive to that body of water, and we're going to swim a little bit, and we're going to set up our stream, and we're going to have conversations there, and I'll show you that little bio environment. Maybe there'll be people passing me. Maybe there'll be people brave enough to sit down and have a conversation. Who knows? Who knows? But that's where I want to be going slowly but surely. But that is going to be a lot of money. I had this conversation with my brother, Rudo. He's a mechanical engineer. So he would actually have the skills. He already does, technically speaking, but he's going to extra have the skills in 5 years and the tools to actually help me build, a whole van like that. And having this conversation with him about this, short-term goal, he's like, yeah, you know what? Let's build two. So we're going to build two, like hopefully in the 5-year time frame. 2 events, maybe we'll even probably 100% we'll document, all of it for YouTube so you friends can follow along, and then, yeah, we'll be able to go in and have some adventures. Having this conversation though, I asked him how much it's going to cost, and he estimated R1,000,000, which sounds like a lot, but in dollars it's like 50,000, $50 to $60,000, which is still a lot. Right? At my current rate of earning, that's like well, let's be realistic. It's 135 months. Yeah, see, dude, that's 10 plus years. Yeah. So technically, if I had absolutely zilch expenses, I could technically swing it in 10 to 11 years, right? However, I would like to believe that I can accelerate some timelines within the next 5, right? To collapse it at least by half. All right, surely we'll be able to do that, right? 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 All right, yes, I'm guiding my mind. I am spiraling upwards. It is possible. It is possible. Okay. Stop calling lame. You got this. Just remember to eat and shower. You'll be fine. Absolutely. He sees the destiny himself through the eyes of heaven. A worldview that will transform your life. Absolutely. Bless you, Saina. Thank you for sharing with us. I forgot my gratitude for brown until I'm flying home from a long trip and see the world turn brown. Such a relief. I'm guessing you're talking about your coffee, right? Yeah, flying can definitely, exhaust you a little bit. There's a bunch of stuff happening in your mind at that time. Time to head to work. Bless you, Lane. Many people on the East Coast with no power right now. A snowstorm followed by sleet, huge winds, tornadoes, and 2 days of flooding. Rain as the temps increases. Goodness. Like the no power thing is a big thing right now as well. Makes me feel like I've been seeing EcoFlow, like a bunch of placed EcoFlow commercials where they're like, oh y'all, why don't you install batteries for your family, right? For your parents. You should be installing these batteries for your family right now because power outages. And I don't know if they intentionally place those ads in that way where a bunch of people would literally be power outaging right now. That feels kind of sinister and dark, but at least we find ourselves in the age where we have options, right? Sure, they're expensive still, they're still expensive, but there's new chemistries coming online right now as well. That's definitely going to drive the prices down as well. So before we know it, maybe we won't have to stress that much about not having power, at least for a while at a time. Like I heard it was like super bad last year, where some people even like freezed in their homes and stuff. Whew, love is true. Melty, for me, the foundation is key, but the reality that we are building this life on a shifting landscape lends itself to the narrative that we must be willing to adjust. I feel, the thing that I'm interpreting your message through as well is that if you're going to, again, build things within yourself, right? Again, fascinate yourself, and this is my own bias, this is because that's what I choose to do, but fascinate yourself with the inner experience and personal growth and the depth of your own inner knowing. Because no matter how things change, no matter what your financial circumstances, no matter how much food you have to eat or where you're living, that is still going to be your day-to-day experience, right? That's going to be the one thing you have the highest definition access to, right? That previous topic we had a conversation about. So, yeah, that can't be taken from you, despite the shifting landscape. Me and Joshua would have such cool chats. You know, I can see us one day. No internet. Well, guess you're not a streamer anymore. I'll. Do you know me? I'll literally drive into town every day to do my live streams, Joy Vive. I'll freaking walk. I'll walk the 3 hours it takes to town, you know, to do my live streams. I am relentless. I will not stop. Nothing will stop me. Everybody in chat on the fringe of spiritual discovery. Everybody in chat are spiritual beings, right? You don't have to discover anything, right? It's like discovering yourself, discovering the sunrise. You just have to be present for it, right? That's where you experience the beauty. To be like, oh wow, how about this sunrise? How about this spiritual experience I'm having right now? Oh, bless all of you friends. We must stay rigid yet fluid in our approach to creating a place of peace in our meditative approach. Strong and soft. Convicted yet open-minded. We must shift with the sands. So I watched this video recently, Josh Mo, where a dude was talking about the fiery path and the watery path, or the wet path, you know, and he mentioned that the wet path is like immersing yourself, like diving into life, right? Into family, into having children, into participating in the world and in ego and in business, right? And then there is the fiery path, that is complete renunciation of the world, that is a complete inner focus, that is passionate and deep in the approach of the spiritual journey, and you know, is like pursuing the spiritual knowledge and is diving deeper and deeper into the meditative state. And as I was watching this video, it felt like this knowing arise in me that the whole Meltmore narrative is me trying to do both, right? And that instead of just being fiery or just being watery, something that is melting is literally the in-between, right? Still hot, still dangerous, still strong, right? But also liquid, castable, you know, fluid. Something that can move, something that can be shaped by the environment. Bless all of you friends. Bless you more blessings even. It's a dance, but it's a beautiful one, and it's worth it. Sorry to say, I'm out of the loop. No, just me moving, Heather. Melt is gonna move out because a van kid, and become a van kid. I mean, I would like to become a van kid, but that's still gonna be a while. I'll be a van man, you know, by the time I'll get a van, bro. I won't be able to call myself a kid anymore. Oh no, please. I want to be a van kid instead. I don't want to be van man. Third channel, van man. Man lives in van. Man showers outside van. Man eats food made in van. Man lose mind in van. Man sad. Men reflect. Men throw rock in water. Men look at ripple. Oh goodness, I can see a version of me making content like that. Right? Like kind of like taking myself for a ride. Just going super stupid. You know, I do take myself too seriously sometimes, so maybe it'll be good. Maybe it'll be good for me. No. When I'm just gonna okay, Nordic spirits are so much fun to spend time with. Nomadic spirits, bless. Yeah, dude. I feel like I'm already, you know, kind of like that. I just don't have access, or I'm unwilling to accept some of the discomfort that would come with just like pure nomadic living. So, like, I wanna have my cake and eat it too. I want the middle path, right? I do want the middle way. I want to burn hot and fiery, you know, and have that devotional energy. But I also want to be free and fluid and moving throughout this world, you know, interacting with human beings. I believe both are worthy in this pursuit that we call life. And I believe we have enough time to pursue both, right? We don't realize it just yet, but we're going to have more than enough time to really get to know ourselves. And that's going to be of utmost importance even, right? You knowing yourself is going to be beneficial, not only to humanity, but to your own experience, most importantly. When I first awoken, I concentrated on making myself more spiritually positive person. But in the last 2 years, I've concentrated more on my environment and surroundings. Yeah, that's a big deal. That's a big deal, Jack. Like, you can really uplift yourself and be a positive and spiritual person and be kind and be present. But unfortunately, when it comes to certain environments, like for example, the environment of living with your family, they see you in a certain way, right? And they've seen you grow, and they might still be stuck in certain versions of who you were. And that can be a little bit draining when you're trying to be a new version of yourself, right? Being a spiritually positive person. Environment, and what's the other one you said? Environment and surroundings make a massive difference when it comes to your own spiritual well-being. Thank you, friend, for learning that lesson, and thank you for sharing that wisdom with us as a community, helping us all consciously evolve. Jack, both pathways hold necessity, but they run in parallel. Take time for each of these strengths so that you can evolve with balance. Bless. Of course, I've just graduated to the next step. Yeah, dude. The lessons ain't gonna stop, right? Unfortunately. Like, I laugh. I legit, like, I think I call it the cosmic giggle, right? And I laugh at it as soon as I notice it, where the universe is just like coyly, sprinkling a little bit of shenanigans onto my experience, and then watching me like, what you gonna do? Huh? Huh? And I'm like, yeah, you think this is funny? You think this is funny? And it's like, yeah. And I'm like, that's kind of the energy and the relationship me and the universe have with one another. And I wouldn't have it any other way, because I'm like that, right? I'm like that. A little bit mischievous. But at least not maliciously, right? I'll be mischievous, but I'm not trying to fuck your life up, right? And at least the universe has been like that for me as well. Like, sometimes, like, throwing some spanners into the works, but never destroying my engines. Just maybe like grinding some gears. Love is true. No, 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 no. Well, there we go. There. Okay. Remember to remain grateful for all of your awakenings. They are benchmarks for a growing and evolving entity. Yeah. And if you feel like you're not yourself right now, it might be because you are literally in the process of transitioning, awakening, growing into a new version of your own being, right? So it's okay to not feel like yourself as well sometimes, right? A part of the spiral. At least we can observe and feel the malevolence and keep our attention positive. Absolutely. You're absolutely correct. Be thankful for every moment. Bless you, dear friend, and yours as well. We are getting 10 inches of snow on Friday, and then the temps are dropping to minus 25 degrees Celsius a day. Later, for the high, we're going to see some power outages here for sure. Getting some firewood ready. Bless you with warmth. Bless you with safety. Bless you with fun times. As I was closing my eyes, I saw an hourglass that had fires burning in them. It doesn't make sense, I know, but what can I do? The psychedelic state of mind. Melt will stream via carrier pigeon. I'll stream via carrier pigeon. Don't you worry, dude. I'll record my streams just on my camera. I'll put that stream on a USB stick. I'll strap that USB stick to 50 pigeons, bro, and I'll have them fly out. Yes, dude. I just realized how much it's gonna cost me to buy 50 USB sticks a day. Scratch that idea, bro. That's a bad idea. New plan. I'll start shouting super loud, I'll buy myself a speaker array and I'll just blast every single word I say, at 220 decibels. Hear me, universe! Witness me, aliens, witness me. And like, I want them to come and be like, bro, shut the fuck up, you're making so much noise. Please, oh please. The bad aliens are gonna hear you, and suddenly I'm dead silent, like, wait, whoa. The fuck did you just say? What do you mean the bad aliens are going to hear me? Whispering to the other aliens, they're like, bro, you don't want to know. You don't want to know. Oh, I'm grateful for this moment. Grateful for you. Looking for a yoga retreat in the States. Any suggestions in chat? I don't know about retreats. I know about a studio in Encinitas that's called the Soul of Yoga. If you Google it, you'll be able to find it. Check that one out. Looking for a yoga retreat, bless you again, kiddo. And I were melting candy canes and repairing them. That sounds so wholesome. Melty brother, I'm in a constant battle between the fire path and the water path. My spirit seems to live somewhere on the shoreline, I guess. Allow yourself both, brother bear, right? Don't see it as mutually exclusive. And if anything, if the thing you're worrying about, maybe just be clear about your path, and I feel at the very least through that clarity, through that stability, through that own inner knowing, you will find those that will accompany you on that path, right? And I feel technically you already have, dude. Literally, the Meltmore symbol is that sharp infinity, right? The two triangles, as above, so below, stacked against one another. The fiery path and the watery path in opposition. You being that crossing point, that shoreline. So I don't think it's bad, bro. You're exactly where you're supposed to be. Cassie, are you still here? Much lovin's. No, doesn't seem that way. I've never done a retreat yet, but we do Zoom before stream in the morning if you're interested, Jack. Bless you. Thank you, Jean. Man poops on hood of van because van lost his van mind. Yes, he lost his van mind. And now he's going to van jail for his van crimes. Bless you, bro. That sounds like the melt path. It does kind of, right? We need fire, we need water. I think I'll stay close to both. Just be in the middle, bro. Then you're literally right next to both. Right? Both of them are always accessible to you. We're gonna be right there. Well, you told you get cleaning it off. Movable with conscious action. The conscious action is the important part. Look, bless you on that process as well, man. That's the hard one. Actually taking some conscious actionable steps. Swampy, where is the closest place to Chicago that I can find 50-degree at nighttime? I need a camping trip as soon as possible. You want to leave the cold? Be like, hell no, bro. I don't want to be close to this. I don't want to breach any privacy, but I think it's safe to let you know. I got a legit chat message last night. Yay! Yeah, her and Amara are flourishing, and her future is looking bright, and she's living so lovingly. Thank you. So Shan sent me a message as well, Joe, and she did tell me that I can't tell the community, but I didn't feel like there was any entry point into, and then you opened that portal. So Shan sent me a message as well. She told me about like the developments. Some of you friends might know the place that she used to live is now being sold by the landlord who owns it, which means that this home that she loves and adores, and deeply appreciates is technically, at least in some way being taken away from her. But that was like basically what she found out at the start of December, and in the meanwhile, she's found a new place that is, I don't know how much of the information I should share, but it's going to be good for her. Very good for her. There's a place for her to grow a garden. She wants to start farming chickens, maybe some pigs, growing her own food. She's not going to partake of any of the meat products. If you know Shan, you'll know that as well. And she mentioned that her and her family and her and Amara's relationship with one another have been better than ever, right? That for a long time, her and Amara was going through some spiciness where Amara was being a preteen, saying mean things to her mommy, not knowing the impact of these decisions. And one of the things that Shan mentioned is that has also changed, that instead of Amara being mindlessly mean, when she finds herself saying something mean, she instantly apologizes and, makes sure that her mom feels seen. Love Pippi is pushing buttons on my screen. That she's feeling loved and seen, so Shan is doing well. She's probably still not going to join us for streams because she realizes that she was using it as a distraction. Like again, I'm divulging maybe even more information that she probably intended for me to share, but she's not here to share it. So what am I supposed to do, Shan? She mentioned to me that, she's been not partaking of content as much, right? Feeling like it's it's too influency, right? So she's pretty much taking off from everything, which means this as well. She's fine. She's healthy. Her relationships are healthy. You know, she wants to like that's the thing that I'm looking forward to this year for her is the fact that she'll be growing her own food. And you know, she's been, if you know Shan and her journey, she's very serious about like eating healthy and you know taking that stuff kind of like seriously and knowing where her produce comes from and you know hearing from her journey like she's been sensitive to like certain food types and as things go through different seasons and there's like different cultivars or different seasonal varieties or different maybe like kept in storage you know produce, she'll notice the physical effects of eating those different food types. So I think the fact that she's going to be growing food for herself is going to be like a big shift in her personal experience. To give you an insight, love to you, Shan. Sending you blessings in your world. Look at this, sweetie. Look at her. Being a little melty dough girl. I see fleas running in your fur. Let me catch you. Come here, little flea. Come here. You can't escape me. Gotcha. Yeah, I got it. I got it, Pippi. I got it. Yeah, I did it. I killed it. I slayed your flea. At least one of these. I don't know how many more you have, though. I'm sorry. Okay. Yay, Joe, yay. That's wonderful. I will keep it a secret. Bless. I don't think it has to be kept a secret. She did tell me that, you know, she is okay with me sharing with your friends, giving you friends an update. Update has been given. You have to be here to receive it. No. Her love here is still so strong. Bless. Duck. Well, I live 3,000 kilometers south of Chicago, and it was 14 degrees Celsius last night. That is, that's a while away. It's so far, yeah. Just like a little bit of inconvenience, you know? Not like shards of glass or heroin needles, you know, just like wet socks. Stop. It's not funny. It's kind of funny. A little bit funny. Cosmic giggling. Everyone, please, everyone, have an uplifted spiritual day. Thank you for the lessons. Thank you, Jack, for sharing your lessons with us as well, Brother Bear. Dude, a fire hourglass sounds so sick. Maybe we'll, you know what? Let's do it. Let's create an artificial intelligence interpretation, right? Let me not call it art before I get stoned to death, metaphorically speaking. You know, I'm going to create an AI interpretation. You see me poking fun. Small little fly got stuck in my arm hair. Imagine being so small that you fly into a being exponentially larger than you, and then you get stuck in the hair that is growing out of that being's arm. It's pretty absurd. A beautiful and transcendent hourglass that looks like it's fire pits, both on the top and in the bottom. I don't know if that was good enough, but I guess it has to be. It's not loading right now. My Discord might be bugging again. Bugging again. My Discord might be bugging again. We'll see. Maybe you friends will be able to see it before me. No, it's not wrong. Love is true, and it will elevate your consciousness. Absolutely, bro. Jack, you are your best teacher. You just have to listen to yourself. But for when you can't, we are here. Love is true. Miss her bunches. I send huggins to the wind and breezes of squeezes. With all the love that Shanna shared, we can know for certain that they will land with pinpoint accuracy. So freaking blessed. So eloquent. I'm just back from my doctor's appointment. How did it go? Lozana. I hope it went well. Sending you blessings. We have a power outage now. The ice weighed everything down, only to be melting onto everything right now. So refreeze soon. It all melts back to balance eventually. Got into the max. Yeah, Shan, the biggest seat. Maybe that would be cool, actually. I think she would really appreciate that. Seriously, Duck Dad. You know, it would save her the extra expense as well, you know, and then she gets to buy herself seed to plant herself some food instead of having to buy that too. We have to move here as well. So many people experiencing move and change. Change is hard for me, even the necessary change. I think the necessary change is especially hard, you know, because you know it needs to be done. There's no way around it, you know, and your postponing of it isn't going to make anything better. In fact, you know actively it only makes things worse. So like the pressure and the weight of it can feel even heavier. Shan and I got pretty close for a moment, and then everything went very quiet between us. Please send her some love from me. For all of us, Joe. For all of us, man. It it really challenges my understanding of love is true. And yet, none of these feelings would be available to me if it wasn't, right? Right? So, yeah, the fact that we can feel anyway means that love is true. Sending her blessings. Sending her so many blessings. Oh, Roganess. You're doing all right, Heather. Happy to stay warm. I hope so. I believe so, at least. She's here. Her fingers are still working for typing, right? Like, if your fingers are super cold, ain't no typing happening at the very least. Shan holds a special place in my heart. Hugs and hugs and hugs to Shan. Shan is like a legendary Pokemon. Joe Bud, she surely is. The day demands my attention. Love to you, Shell. Bless you. It is time for us to pull a card, I feel, as well. Did I leave my... Nani? I did. How about that? I guess, technically, up until now, it wasn't really needed, so... C'est la vie. So be. I'm back in a second. Chop chicka boop chicka doop doop chicka boo ba. $74. I'm on 67 on there. Oh, 78. So close. Real close. Maybe if I'm done pulling cards, I'll be on 74% on this battery. The transient nature of the spirit. But it still sucks when people venture off. Yeah. Yeah, it does, Joe. Sucks ass, bro. Like, I really don't like it, man. I really don't like it. And then I intrinsically and deeply understand like where the whole Christian, you know, way of seeing God comes from as well. You know, like I understand that human, I don't know if it's jealousy, but like maybe scorn, right? That like feels so hurt and so egotistical, realistically speaking, you know, catastrophizing, you know, making it out to be worse than it actually is, you know, the whole fractal of, you know, once you remove your presence from me, you're not allowed to return. Like all of that energy, you understand it so well. And again, all of that, in my mind at the very least, is supposed to be an opportunity for you to choose to be loving despite that, right? Like to show yourself that you are even more capable than, you know, even some of the biblical interpretations. Points to the sun. Yeah, exactly. Right. If it was just present, disconnect for a second. If it was just present, the sun that is, always with us, we would all be turned to a raisin, right? Get absolutely scorched. But the fact that the sun waxes and wanes, comes and goes, means that we actually get to have a little bit of a break of it. Feels like a loss when people fly away. I'm not sure it's supposed to. I thought it was just me who got too attached, but sure, that's life. Oh no, friend. Right? It's even harder for me. It's even harder for me because I get attached real quickly, unfortunately. Right? And I really love you, friends. And I'm pretty emotional, if your friends haven't noticed. So like your absence is very missed, but I will literally, you know, like devastate myself into oblivion if I didn't actively reorient, right? Guide my mind towards spiraling upwards. Because sure, I can spiral downwards, and think about, for instance, Maxine, who we haven't seen in like 6 months, right? Like I still have her scarf, and yet know her, right? Where is she? Is she okay? Why is she not here? Not for the new year, not for Christmas, none of that, right? Spiral down, spiral down. Or I can be like, she's probably out there in the world, living her life, right? And that's a good thing. Same thing for Shan, right? They're not lost. They're not having any less of an experience, having any worse of an experience. They're just not having this experience. And that's fine as well. And it doesn't make it any easier, even though I can articulate it to myself. It doesn't make it any easier. However, that is kind of how life is, right? Am I going to fight reality, or am I going to be reality? All right. Which will I choose? In which direction will I guide my mind to keep the topic relevant? Melty, I completely understand the need to go. I definitely feel personally, though, it's just the price of an interactive relationship. Exactly. Sometimes we lose the ones we love, not lost or gone, just somewhere outside of where we can see that kind of feeling, outside of where I can see. Yeah, for me again, right? Like my latest melting experience illuminated that to me. Like if everything melts away, what is the thing that causes me most suffering? And it's the fact that people leave. It's the fact that people aren't here for me. It's the fact that people don't show up, right? And I noticed it showed me the amount of suffering, right? And it was waves, it was tsunamis, it was mountains, volcanoes, it was planets and stars of suffering, right? That I was just dragging along my consciousness actively. Every single person lost, every single person gone, more weight for me to carry, to consider why, to consider what I did wrong. And I was like literally stuck. I felt myself stuck, like because of all of this weight, I couldn't move forward. It was impossible for me to. How do I drag planets and black holes with me, right? And it showed me that the only way for me to let go is to put it down, right? To put it down and to be present with what is in front of me, to realize that I'm not actually going anywhere, not really, right? And on a metaphysical level as well, I understand that to the point where I believe that's why we keep showing up every single day like this, right? It's almost like an acknowledgement of the not going anywhere. If I'm not going anywhere, why not show up, right? Why not show up? Like it's literally a part of the same energy. I'm trying to align with reality instead of trying to fight it. I'm trying to guide myself into the stream instead of trying to push against the stream. Love is true. These are the things that I don't usually like being too vocal about because it's my own BS, right? You friends shouldn't have to deal with my own nonsense. But maybe, as one of our friends just stressed, she hearing that I kind of deal with that stuff as well, that attachment, if you will, might make you feel a little bit more seen, a little bit less weird, right? So, yeah, that works. Heather, we talked about missing you in stream yesterday. Just missing the energy of missing in stream yesterday. It took away from it. I was perpetually. Wait. It's like my mind is getting scrambled. Heather, we talked about missing in stream yesterday. I took away from it was that the perpetuating of missed loved ones' energy by keeping their love alive and energetic in mind. Updated. Literally, right? That we can miss one another, right? And we can see that as a bad experience, right? Like again, from the suffering perspective, like missing someone can be interpreted as wishing for things to be differently, wishing for that person to be close to you. Or you can see it from a loving perspective, right? Loving them so much that you have this energy being generated of missing. And then again, sometimes it's so hard to realize where you stand. And then I have to remind myself that, hey, oh, love is true. Love is actually what is true in this moment, right? The love you had for that person that you're missing is what is true, not the nonsense, the excess noise that your mind tells you about why that person is gone, right? The love is true. Melty, by the way, Maxine update, she's okay. I just got a message from her 2 days or 3 days ago. Good. She's doing well. She's on a journey and she sends her love. Bless her on her journey too. Love is true. Missing, right? Yesterday's stream topic was literally about that. I think Jack means like the stream. Would everyone in chat hit the thumbs up button? I mean, I think most of your friends did. Bless you. I don't know if it makes that big a difference. Not right now, at least for me, right? But still, I guess. Thank you. Thank you for the updates. I appreciate it. Not my objective at the very least. Mm. Mm-mm. People come and go. Love remains. Yes, exactly. That is the one truth we can rely on, right? The one truth, the one stability, the one point of focus that I can keep pointing my mind towards, guiding myself towards the light instead of towards the darkness, towards the shadows, even though the shadows can be deep and mysterious and hold untold wisdom. I like finding myself in the light, like a plant, soaking up the rays of energy, reaching higher and higher towards my own enlightenment. It's bizarre to me. In such a mobile technological world, people find new adventures, but no contact. The no contact part makes me suffer. I love what you said, Joy. The love remains forever. It will, right? And it's up to us. I feel like it was going to be more and more up to us to find that love, right? To acknowledge that both is true, right? The loss of these people that we love, can only be experienced from a place of love. It's like a function of it, right? You wouldn't miss someone or feel bad about someone's absence if you didn't love them, right? So which would you rather have? Never having loved or feeling this experience of missing? And then for me, the answer is very, very easy. But it's not always. All right, it's not always that easy. These feelings can hurt. The streams have been so beautiful. Love is true. Bless both of you. Casey, I feel that. It's one thing to move on from a group, but being individually ghosted is so hard. Yeah. We get connected to the ones that we vibe with. It's natural to feel empty when a good friend goes quiet. I feel like it's just, again, the confusion, the uncertainty, the lack of clarity that creates in our being, right? It's not even intentional. It's just the reality, just how it is. That's why I believe in creating content. Create content, please. Please create content. It can be so simple. You can literally just hit like the record button on like short videos and just speak something into the ether. Be like, you know what, today sucked ass, brah. Yeah, see, But I learned that even though the sucking up ass, I can still perpetuate love, and that was pretty neat. Right? And if you continue creating videos like that, eventually you will create a certain lens to see yourself through, that you realize the world sees you through, that helps you guide your mind, right? And your mind is of this world, at least in part, I believe, in part of this world. So use the world to guide it well, right? Expose yourself to information that's going to serve you. Really think about what I'm saying right now. I want to have a whole stream topic about this, but it's a little bit icky, and it's not really my demographic. But yeah, expose your mind only to information that's going to serve your path. Very important. Very, very important. The card is purple and green, I think. Let's see, Joe. We have Zano guessing blue. You're fighting it. You got new followers now. It's true. I'm up. I'm up. You're right, actually. I think that's the first time we're breaking 1,260, right? It's 61 right now, technically. So you are right. We are gaining subs. There are more people joining the stream than ever, literally. Right now, over the last few months, more new people have seen the streams and have found this space than ever before. So YouTube is, seeing this channel as healthy and trying to at least slowly but surely open it up to the public. They're testing it. Got to go. Love you all. Guess blue. Blue guess. This card is pulled, so we'll see together. Feel like Melty is giving the whole better to have lived, to love and to have lost than not to have loved at all vibe. Exactly. I have definitely had times where I wished I had never loved at all. Me too, bro. Me too. But those times don't last forever. And they're not true, right? They're not true. They might be experientially significant and you might feel that way in the moment. But that's as much illusion as your flesh is, right? It's not true. It's an ego, pain, self-pity perspective, but I don't think it's an actual truth. Upside down card. We had Zanu guessing blue, but we had Joe Schmo guessing green and purple, right? Right. Skibopity. Yeah. Purple and green. Literally. So core card is green. But I feel like that purpley energy feels significant at the center of the card, creating a backdrop. The passion flower. See how your passion flowers. Ooh, guiding our minds towards flowering our passions, right? Look, those friendships that break up and don't exist anymore. If you're still loving that person, that is unconditional love. Absolutely. Before we learn, we adjust, we spread the knowledge. We try to do this. The main goal is to elevate everyone's vision. Conscious evolution, right? I think you're right. I don't think I've ever stopped loving anyone that I loved. It just changes. Be conscious. I don't think it changes from the perspective of loving them any less. I just think it takes on a new filter where the loving them, you realize that there is more to loving a person than just the good feelings, right? And that's the part that's hard about love. I never said love, when I say love is true, I never say love is sunshine and rainbows. I never say love is, sparkly, good feelings and perfect everything. I've never said that because love is technically in my mind presence, right? Awareness. Love, technically in my mind, is the ability to endure everything. Love is the literal fact of existence, and that includes pain, and that includes uncertainty, and that includes loss, and that includes, getting hurt, getting sick. It doesn't make love any less true. Because you're enduring it, right? That love remains at the core of your experience. Otherwise, you would just cease to exist as soon as, any mild inconvenience arose. But that's not the case of love, right? You persist. Passion flowering. Thank you, friends, for choosing love alongside me. My favorite flower. It really is so cool. Such a cool card. You got it, Joe. Is Duck Dad still alive? Still here. I'm sorry, Lozana. I have a surprise photo for him in general. Let's see if he's going to answer. This stuff ain't just a bedtime stories. It's real. We are connected. I do believe this without a shadow of a doubt, bro. We are the infinite observers. Pride's on the floor. Only way is up. The pain wouldn't exist if the love subsided. It changed on my end because it has to. Most call it dumb. I call it unconditional. I love even if they don't love me. It's who I am. And I'm thankful for this space. That's the way we're supposed to be, Heather. Because, and this is again, I believe we can kind of convince ourselves to do that selfishly. Because if you choose to be lovingly, right, even if it has to be pushed into the unconditional, that's going to be your experience, right? You're going to experience what it's like to live unconditionally or to love unconditionally. So even if they don't love you back, that doesn't take anything away from your experience. It can make it hurt, right? But that's also a part of your experience. And again, if love wasn't true, there would be no pain. It's how we see ourselves in this journey. And I know you friends are very capable, very strong. Love is true. What's your passion flower? Card number 45. Upside down meaning first, of course, because that is the one we pulled initially. And it goes, look within and discover ways to better nurture your passion. If that is not a different way, a paraphrasing way of explaining today's stream topic, right? My way of paraphrasing was guide your mind to spiral upwards, right? And then this line goes, look within and discover ways to nurture your passion, right? Take care of this thing that you want to become alive, that you want to grow. Remember to cultivate an attitude of appreciation. It's such a trip how literally the reverse is like straight, pointing fingers at us. Embedded within this image, this is the right side up. Appreciation and awareness. I should have shown you this. Is the core meaning of this card. Embedded within this image is a beautiful configuration known as the flower of life. This is made of 19 interlocking circles that represent a lattice of life force. I've shared this before, but I'll share it again. Another way to see the flower of life is a two-dimensional extraction of you as a developing embryo, right? Because you literally start as a single one of these circles, and then you duplicate, and then you duplicate, and then you duplicate, right? And that duplication becomes a three-dimensional form. But if you had to collapse that three-dimensional form into its two-dimensional existence, that's what it would look like. That's what you look like in a sacred geometric, configuration. I believe we are the flowers of life. So I want you to guide your mind to interpret the rest of today's, reading through that lens. A beautiful, colored cardinal torch ginger, and in the center, a passion flower calls upon you to recognize and appreciate the perfection of nature and the beauty that lies within you. Two hands cradle and dynamically energize this card. This is a prayer of appreciation and a call to awareness. Gaze at the center of this informational pattern and the passion flower at its core. Allow this life force to activate an attitude of appreciation and fill your awareness with exactly what you need to know at this moment. Feel how that recognition affects you, body, mind, and spirit. Appreciation is recognition of the divine nature of everything, including the direction your life is taking at this time. Recognize the value of your chosen path. Become aware of how your passion is flowering. Recognize the evolution of your visionary path and hold dear the feeling of what it is like to follow your bliss, to spiral upwards. Right? 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 Are you going to spiral upwards? And you're like, Melt, it's hard. It's hard spiraling upwards. People can be shitty. I know. I almost know. I know almost. But still, right? Takes a moment to spiral upwards. Even if you're spiraling downwards a little bit again. You're capable of seeing. You just gotta stop looking. It's true. It's actually true. I think I missed a few. Anyways, up. That's who I am. Love again to you. Appreciate the perspective gained today. Oh, so much. Whoa, card on point. At all. Like this. Like I feel like pretty much every single card we pull in the new year has just been like bangers on bangers on bangers, like so apt and so poignant. We are the evolution of the human experience, my friends, literally, right? Sit and bask in your own glory. You are literally the evolution of the human experience. You are the cutting edge. You are the spear tip of human experience, right? Guide your mind towards realizing that you are of great significance to the whole of human evolution, right? You might not think it, but you're making a massive difference just by simply existing. Jaji was on fire today, so much as Jaji was spitting straight fire, right? And still, flowing in chat, remaining liquid, throwing lava at us. Let us nourish and fertilize the garden of growth and evolution. We are the truth, so stay true to your internal guide. The spiritual dialogue will reveal your next steps to evolution. It's infinite, and the lessons are always there. Jovan, little sister, major mother, mystical critter, you get it. Said so much up here, pride on the floor, only way is up. Then the card talked about spiraling upwards. This card must be a confirmation for a while now. Take it with you, dear friend. Right, rabbit, so much synchronicity. Like I'm just like I wish, like I could generate that feeling a little bit more readily. That like, wow. And again, the fact that you friends were here for this chat, that's why I understand why it's difficult to be here for these streams because like we've been live for 2 hours, right? I don't expect you to spend 2 hours of your time with me, but the fact that you have spent time with me in the stream, the fact that you have tuned in, the fact that you have heard today's stream topic and where my heart has been guided towards this realization, towards these feelings, towards these conscious evolutions, and then to like want to finish today's stream off and pull a card from Francine Hart, who made this deck like more than a few decades ago, to be so apt to what we're going through. So much synchronicity, so much effort, so much guiding our minds towards spiraling upwards, right? It's not magic if we are capable of when we sit in concert. Love is true. I'm going to go and sit on that rock. Won't sit in concert, but I'll sit on that rock, play you friends some kalimba musics. I think I'll keep it wide. The clouds are very beautiful. When we focus on these moments, we can manifest these realities. Oh, yes, we can. Even more so, right? Guiding our minds. Your mind is literally a window into reality, right? And as you look through that window, reality is created for you. Might be, counterintuitive to see it that way, but I honestly believe that you are creating reality. I'm like, sure, Melt, bro, you think we're creating reality? There's massive market forces that shift reality much more than I could ever hope to. Yeah, but that's what I'm talking about, is it? I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about your experience. I'm talking about your reality. This moment-to-moment reality you're experiencing right now. Right? It's just you and your experience. You and your reality. So realize that you and your reality have a responsibility towards the reality of other people as well. And that you can occupy reality in a way where you make it better, where that reality spiral upwards instead of down. I'm going to vaporize a little bit, but I'll stand in frame for you, friends. I'll give you a little stick figure to look at the very least. No 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 no. Oh no 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 no. No 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 no. And click, probably. Oh wow, that is pretty. Isn't that a pretty sky? Pretty crease. Pretty Pippi being silly. Yep, I think I overdid it. It got a bit warm. It's still working, but tastes different. This moment is you. We are this moment exactly. You are an intricate work of art that is literally a part of this reality, infinitely a part of this reality. Like you will never not be a part of this reality, right? And if you believe in God or not, I don't believe God makes mistakes. So that means to me the fact that you were divinely, lovingly, passionately created. If you believe in that way of seeing it, right? I believe you are actively involved in that process as well. But that gets people a little bit eyebrow raising. They don't want to accept that amount of responsibility. I just spotted a praying mantis with a big old bug in his little grasp. Super stoked little dude eating his little bugs up. Let me read some of these messages before I start my kalimbang. And we're grateful for you, bro. Again, sending you lovin's, man. Comments are loading. Synchronicity. I had some little vials of fragrance oil. I just remembered now, and I pulled out the inner child one and put it all over my pulse points. So I guess in a way, she is here with me. Literally, Shan's energy is still carrying us. I wonder if she's going to still do her medicine mother stuff. I don't know. She didn't say anything about that. In a way, she is here with me. Bless. We're grateful for you so much, Kristen. Rock concert. I'm happy that you saw that as well, actually. Try the congression and the harmony are the fuel. Our focus is the steering wheel, and we all trying to get to the same place. The road just appears in front of us, and we just have to continue moving forward, right? And encourages and inspires me to think of the humans who would benefit from this message today. Thank you, friends, for putting this out in the universe. You were a part of this creation today, Heather, so thank you, friend. Happens all the time. My bad. Don't apologize, but the bear. You're choosing to share love. The people in chat see it. Know that, none of us are thinking you're trying to be a nuisance. Love is true. I feel closer to both you and her. I bring her close to me with my white angelica oils. That's so much love. Loazana. Now I now feel closer to both you and her. Dan is here, but YouTube is noping his hellos, sending Dan Man love-ins. Really? I'm on all messages now. Let me check again. I see Dan subscribe to the Patreon. Like I have that notification, but I'm not seeing Dan's messages in chat right now. Sending him blessings. I have been thinking about him. I just heard from Dan. He messaged you in Patreon on here, but he's not sure if you saw. I sent him a message as well. I sent him a message. Let me just check if it actually went through. I'm gonna be so bummed. Yeah, I did. Yesterday at 21 minutes past 6, I sent him a big old message. Like I'm begging. Like I have to hit the see more button to I have to hit the see more button on 2 of the text bubbles I get him. I haven't seen message from him in there. Here, they must not be going through. Dan, love you, buddy. Sorry you got banned. I mean, if he's banned, I should be able to see it though. Let me see. I'm going to have to switch here, or am I gonna have to go to my studio? I don't think I saw him on my banned list. At least not recently. Let me see. Is it in settings, permissions? I don't think that's gonna be where I actually want to be going. Nay. Privacy policy. I don't think he should be banned, right? I don't think that should be right. At least from what I know. Like I should know, right? Surely there should be like some sort of notification on my dashboard. Hmm. Test message. There we go. I see your message, Dan. I was about to say, yeah. If you see, yeah, Poopsie 808. But the messages disappear pretty quickly. So I don't know if you heard today's card, Dan, but like it's pretty trippy. Like maybe like this is a little bit of an invasion of privacy, but it is technically my message. So I think I still feel okay with it. But today's card was literally about the path we chose. And there was a line, in the reading that goes, celebrate or appreciate the path that you have chosen. And one of the lines that I wrote yesterday to Dan in reply is learn to love the path you're on. Take the pain of separation from those closest to us and use it as a catalyst for connection of others. Right? And I feel like this space is technically a space where we encourage connection of others. But, because of the paths we've chosen and because of the ways we have, showed up in the world and the energy we have created and the way that we have made people feel, our path ends up being different, right? And our mind can spiral. But the joke is, if you let your mind spiral into the negative, you're only going to get more of this negative experience that your current path is allowing you to feel, right? And the only way to try and course correct after having been in some way or another responsible for the current state of reality, there has to be a certain level of, kind of like responsibility going forward to try and course correct, steer ourselves into a loving place. Admiral, Dan should not be banned. I also said Dan should not be banned. So please, friends, right? Like I also don't think banning should be, the next step. Again, I feel like this is just one of those fractals of the path we have chosen, right? Because unfortunately, we are a community, right? And the point of community is closeness. And the point of closeness is to talk to one another. And unfortunately, I also know that we have talked to one another about this whole fractal. I heard, I saw, the just like this is fucking with my brain. Yeah, I guess welcome to spiraling. Now all of us are spiraling. You see, this is actually a perfect opportunity for us to now choose to spiral upwards. All right, love is true. Remember that. Remember that love is true. Gentle and sweet. That's the idea, anyway. We need to move this to the Discord where we can discuss it privately. I think that might be better. Thank you, Sam. Jobat, I have the White Angelica too. I'll switch to that later and think of you guys. Bless you, Lozana. Thank you for spiraling upwards after stream. Remove my blue wrench if it's creating a problem. I'm a non-active mod. Y'all can figure it out. Not you are worthy of the blue wrench, brother bear. Like again, I understand all the perspectives that are being shared in stream right now. Right? And the reason some of you friends have blue wrenches next to your name isn't because you're more special than anybody else. It's because you have, at least, experientially, shown me that you do care about this space. And if you don't have a blue wrench next to your name, I'm not saying you don't care about this space. It's more like an activity thing, where the people that do care about the space to the point where maybe it's a little bit obsessive, like me, I'm also a little bit obsessive, is going to want to keep this space, a safe sanctuary, right? And that is kind of like the energy we try to create. And we have had moments in this space where we ended up spiraling downwards and downwards and downwards because we did allow energy in that was already spiraling downwards and we were going for that ride together, right? So I understand the impulse, the emotional response to want to not allow that energy in. But also, it is us who ends up spiraling, right? That's the whole point of today's stream. That's the value, that's the lesson, that's the strength that we are building, right? Actively and consciously and continually steering ourselves towards evolving. Keep your wrench, Tarzan. You might need it later. Yeah, dude, exactly. You care about the space, and maybe there's somebody who, is throwing profanities in the comments just for the sake of trying to be funny, and then you could, stand in that moment and take an active role. So keep your wrench, keep your wrench, Tarzan. I love that line, Sam. Everyone is welcoming, and nobody's going to shake my foundation here. I just come here to drink coffee. I love y'all, and I believe that everyone deserves a voice. Absolutely. I love you all, and sometimes we falter. I falter, but love is true. Our patience is the proof. Exactly. With all of this in mind, let's play some kalimba. Let's take in the scene. Let's take in the music. Let's take in the consideration. Little Shelby, little pregnant mama cat, is laying here with me. So I'm going to be playing my kalimba, imagining her little babies feeling these loving vibrations as well. Meow, meow, meow. Meow, meow, meow. Kashi, kashi, kashi. You want to say hi to the friends, little preggy preggies? Little preggy mammers? You want to say hi? Oh, preggy, preggy. Oh, some breaker breakers. It's like she ate a cantaloupe, and it's just stuck in her belly right now. It's so cute. Okay, enough shenanigans. Just like that. You wanna say bye? Meow meow. Oh, little braggy mama. I don't know why or if I'm weird, but I really like touching her belly. I imagine there being baby little kittens in there and me being loving towards them. Pre-born baby kittens is just like imbuing them with positive energies. Oh, the fact that she's so like kind and close and loving towards me being preggers. I imagine her like feeling safe enough with her babies, trusting me with her life and the life of her children's. Oh, it's a baby kitty. You're so small. You're such a small kitty, and you're gonna bring babies into this world. At least they won't be hungry babies. I mean, they're still gonna be hungry, but at least they won't be able to eat that much. All right, that's a good thing. Sure, sure, right? We're turning. Yeah. You want to say hi? I want to say. Yeah. Come here. Come here. Can you say meow meow? Just give us one good meow, please. Like one good one. Like a good meow. Come on. That's a perfect one. That's perfect. Thank you. That's great. Sample gotten. Meow 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 meow. Meow meow meow. Meow scared meow. I'm scared of meow. Scared of Scared of Hello. Hello you. Hello other kitty. Oh wow, you're so cute. You're so cute, kitty. Wow. Yeah. You really are. So cutie cutie. Cute kitty kitty. So cute. Oh, yo. Kitty is still chilling on the rock. Let me see if I can punch in a bit. You see her? Yeah, you can see her. Oh, Peppy as well. Man, petting her has my nose a little bit itchy. C'est la vie. You want kids? You want a little kitsy? You better expect to have nose a little bit itchy. That's how it be. I wish if there were a chance to start fresh, forgive, rehabilitate, etc., please choose love. Yeah, at least I got to share some of the perspective, right? Look at what I'm getting. What's the bottom? What's this? I'm gonna do this in front of camera. I already know what it is. It's pumpkin spice coffee. My brain is so big, Hashantay. I can spell it. This bar like it, this song. My sister just brought me a pumpkin spice latte. How blessed am I? It's like running over the side though. Yeah, she was like, take a sip and guess what it is. And just by, cleaning the size of it off, I instantly knew. I've never had a pumpkin spice latte before, but my brain made the connections. By the way, to everyone, the Blue Ranch was kind of like an inside joke when it happened. We just still ran with that joke. Mod doesn't hold status in my heart, but I'll keep my wrench. Yeah, it was like directly before April Fool's. Like it kind of happened haphazardly, where I went into the, like my YouTube Studio app or software, and I messed around and I found like a space where I could just like add, I like went onto my comments and I clicked on your names. That was everyone who was in comment, like who was commenting in that stream, and I just clicked on your names and added wrenches. And the next day I thought I was like doing it kind of like, let me see what this does. And I saw it putting blue wrenches next to people's names. And I was like, that's neat. And then the next day, everybody found out they either had or didn't have a blue wrench next to their name. And it was by chance because I literally went down the list of people who commented on a single stream and just added them to the blue wrench list. And then the next day it was April Fools, and some of them had blue wrenches, and it was just like, oh, okay, well, that was the inside joke. To some of your friends who are not in the know, bless you, Joshua. I didn't. He technically didn't. He technically left. To give you friends some context, like I was like vaguely talking about that. Dan made the intention to leave the community. And this was communicated to me, and it was made very clear, right? And I was thinking about Dan yesterday morning. Thinking to myself, like, is this really better? And then he sent me a message in the afternoon. Telling me that he realizes severing ties with the community maybe was a little bit unconsidered, let's say, right? And then he decided to come back today, and we spiraled the way that we did. We had the experience we had. It is what it is, after all. Love is true. Open forum. We will filter through the haters as they arrive. Tarzan Wrench has spoken. I agree, right? Like, again, I think maybe if banning or deleting messages as they come in is going to be something we're going to be doing, at least only delete the messages that are intentionally harmful, right? Or is going to allow us to spiral into negativity. If you see a spiraling of negativity kind of narrative arising, maybe then, because of the paths we've chosen and because of the ways we've shown up and the energy we've created and the way we've made people feel, maybe some extra vigilance is going to be required or whatever. But if the intention is love, if the message is being sent, then I believe love ought to be true, right? That is what we stand for as a community, after all. I love the puppy belly pads. Bless. Have them all. I'm not gonna read it just yet, but thank you, dear Joe, for sending us our shan message. Tiny kitty scritches, one of the greatest moments in a human's life. Great meow, right? Such a good meow, perfect meow. I'm so happy that you did get to hear it. I see my other microphone is still active. Is it better? Is it better with the extra gain a little bit further away from me? Tell me yes or no. I'm gonna turn it off right now, and then you tell me how much that changes things. If it changes things for the worse or for the better, and then I'll turn it back on if you want me to. There's not too much loud, like extraneous noises, so the extra gain might be a little bit better for the bird noises. Tarzan, I was just saying the same thing to Kristen. CS pan style. RPAN? CS pan style. Secret discussion about our loved ones only hurt everyone. Yeah. Love you, Charlie. Thank you for carrying the torch. I second that motion, Joe. What is that, and where is ours? Well, I guess you have to find yourself here. Not even icing over. So nice. I get pumpkin spice lattes. It's like, look at this again. Like, I'm really like thirsting for it. Like, even the spill over, even though it's not supposed to be that way, is like artistic and beautiful, right? Has like marbling effect. Okay, that was unexpected. So, a function and feature of a straw is the fact that you start consuming your liquid from the bottom up. And another function of displacement is that things that find themselves a little bit heavier, more dense than the rest of the surrounding liquid, they'll sink to the bottom. So I had the experience of learning that there are larger than liquid chunks of probably cinnamon bits at the bottom of my cup, which was definitely, it took me aback for a second. I was like, why is my coffee chunky? Why does my coffee have texture? My coffee should be smooth. The collective is the key. Absolutely. Right? It's all of our energies. Melt more is all of us, right? I melt, you friends are more. Together we become melt more. So yeah, all of your opinions matter, and your say matters, and your energy and your showing up for this space. Love is true. same page if we're gonna guess the right cards. Exactly. The perspective is valued, but the situation is a little bit more nuanced than that and requires some consideration. Yeah, I totally get it. Hit me up in the Discord if you wanna. I'm guessing that you can assume my response though. Triggers are triggers, and I recognize the issue. We all deserve a voice. Let them eat cake until they mess up the table. Yeah, exactly. Right. It's like, oh, you're not eating the cake, you're throwing it at me. No more cake for you. This cake's nice, bro. You should have savored it. Even better the second time. I'm gonna stop. Oh no no. No, 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 no. This one's still off? Yeah. Let me read our goodbye message. You friends ready? How far up is it? There it is. Okay. Have Have the most soaring day, everyone. You're for realsers. So superly duperly. Superbly held in high regard, meaningful Meltmore. And all of you, oh so very jubilantly, effulgently, ethereally, mellifluently, resplendently, ineffably, lucently, celestially, elysianly, authentically wholesome, humanimal critter creatures skillfully navigating this life by steering towards the direction you want to spiral. Thank you, dear Joe, for guiding our minds through that beautiful fractal. I feel like I was like a little bit in the bushes there for a second, lost the path, All I see is trees. I'm just seeing trees, please. Love is true. No need for exile here. Yeah. Like I believe, in fact, we ought to be better than exile, right? Right? Right. Right. Surely. We've almost done a 3-hour stream. I'm going to finish it. I love you. Thank you for joining me. Try to remain open minded when you are enticing others into the fold. Your words have power, and your actions have too. Not only on my life, but on the lives of others. Not only on the lives of others, but on the lives of the others that will come from the others, right? That your actions right now, our decision to be one way or another as a community in this moment, I believe literally will have an effect, will influence people and things thousands of years from now, right? That's my own egotistical bias, sure, but I believe, right? Again, from the whole perspective of steering your mind, you're going to have this experience and you'll have the experience your mind is being steered towards. Love you, Melty. Thank you for this. Thank you, everyone, for joining me again. Love is true. I'll see you again soon. Tomorrow. Goodbye, everybody. Love you.